Hey traders, just wanted to give a quick update on Cardano, 88 to the US dollar tether and 88 to BTC. And right now we're looking at it zoomed out, 88 to USDT on Binance. And well, the breakout of the structure happened. Had a really nice run. We had a trade set up on the Patreon. The symmetrical triangle broke out of it, hit the measure move and beyond. And from our swing high to swing low in the shorter term, we hit the 1272 fib extension perfectly before selling off with Bitcoin. Bitcoin currently sitting at 48.78, down about 2% today. And who cares if it keeps selling off a little bit more? 47.75 is the 20 moving average on Bitcoin on the 4 hour. And then the 50 moving average is 43.51. Extremely fast move to the upside. See if we can pivot somewhere. All right. But Cardano is going to be affected in the US dollar pair to that Bitcoin price action. So here we are touching the 20, and then you got the 50 moving average around 7.518 cents. So could go a little lower. What we'll do in a moment is fib from the other way, from the low point to high point, and see how far we've retraced. But something else I want you to see is, all right, we have an anchor point here, the high point to low point. We'll get another anchor point right now, a discernible daily swing high, way back from July, high to low. What did we do there with fibs? Definitely some confluence, right? You got the 382, right? The golden zone of the much larger swing high. You got a golden zone right here. Okay, so we hit it, and we have now quit it briefly. So it makes sense, right? Two different fib nodes from two different anchor points. That's the way you get confluence when you have on the downside, right? When you have two different swing highs but the same swing low, when you have converging fib nodes, that is what we call confluence. That is the definition of confluence, is just the meeting of two rivers, or in this situation, the meeting of two fib nodes. And so those normally act as stronger levels of resistance. And as you can see, we hit two different fib nodes from two different anchor point fibs, right? So cool. What's in store for us? Let's get rid of these fibs and see. I mean, it seems probable that we have made ourselves a new little swing high. That's cool, man. Go from the low point to high point. Some would argue maybe here or here, but this seems most likely. All right, so just like Bitcoin did on the daily, I believe, we hit that 23% retrace. Look, this is the third time we're touching the 23% retrace. Okay, so far from the lowest low, back from December of 2018, to the highest high to this point, we have retraced about 23.6% of the way and no lower. And we have not fallen below that, but if we did fall to the downside, we would expect prices, if it was just to be a common retrace, we would expect prices between 5.5 cents and 7.7 cents, right? So you got your most shallow retrace, the 23% retrace, and you got 38%, 50%, 618. This is the zone. And then this golden retrace down here that we've been talking about a lot. So that's it, man. That's where we could expect prices to dip to if we're just to make common retraces, and we're just fibbing this like we would any kind of traditional market. This is crypto, all right? So that's 88 USDT, where we could expect to see us to fall back. We could also fall back in between the 382 and the 50% and back test this old trend line up here, the channel we were in, 6.8 cents. All right, so the Bitcoin pair, another beautiful trade setup. I mean, just the way everything, like the momentum shifted, it was so apparent, and we were screaming about it for so long, and just double bottomed on a right shoulder. You could say it was an inverse head and shoulders, whatever. We broke the upside, broke the neckline. What happened? We broke the neckline. Well, we ran up from your high point to low point. We hit what? What did we hit? The golden retrace, 1935. I mean, we literally touched it and have since sold off, okay? But it's crazy. We drew this upsloping channel, and it seems like it's holding the 50 moving average really well, this magenta upsloping, line that you see. Bouncing off of that. You don't want to fall below that, man. You really don't, because then, I mean, it seems like we could fib, right? Fibs would be in order here from a low point down here to a high point. Okay. So I guess we could do that. We hit the top of the golden zone. Those are the areas where we're looking for price action reversal to the downside, and it might not be much, but at least some, okay? really, the fib set you up for price action reversal, but it is unknown how far we would retrace ever. And, you know, so good stuff. Thank you, fibs, for that. Let's see. Measure move of the pattern was hit perfectly, a little bit above it, and that's great. All right. So fibbing from the low point down here to the high point. Look at that. Let's see. Actually, that wick doesn't really count because we didn't create the swing high yet. So right around a 23% retrace. So all of these altcoins and Bitcoin, right, they have only retraced 23% of the way, or about 23% of the way. None have made any kind of real retraces to the downside. In this situation with Cardano, the golden zone would put you between the 1256 sat area at the golden retrace, and then, you know, between that and 1519. Okay, that is like a, you know, just a normal pullback for Cardano if we're to get there, all right? And it would make sense. Okay, so these are the targets on both assets, like just looking how we do fibs, all right? That's where we could expect to pull back after hitting, after first off, just such an amazing run, and now it might be time to pull back, and we could pivot. I mean, dude, I've seen it before. We hit 2 through 6s and run again, but like just the higher probability of a pullback would be between 1256, 1519 here. We sell off, we hit one of these fib nodes, maybe we get some divergence on the 4 hour or something, and then we can pivot and run again. But, you know, discussed in live streams and stuff, you're finally hitting resistance points, not the strongest resistance points, but I mean, when you are incredibly overbought on a daily time scale, just like Bitcoin, any kind of scrub resistance will act pretty stronger than it normally would be in just a regular situation. So finally ran up. You know, there was, remember, the whole argument was there was no support on the way down, right? And there's no resistance on the way up, and you start getting to it, and that's where you start chopping around, and we got as high as that old March 27, 2018 high. All right. If you enjoyed this quick update on Cardano, please hit that like button, that bell, that sub, leave a comment in the section below. I'll be live in a little while, so until next time, respect the TA.